Back in the internet's infancy, or rather back around the time I started hanging around on there, it was a strange and untrustworthy place where you would sometimes order things off there only half expecting them to turn up, where nothing seemed to sort of work properly and you were never really sure what you were clicking on. Everything was a risk at the time, and it felt sort of lawless and dangerous and exciting. This was long before it became just some sort of giant evil supermarket telling you what to buy, although actually it's kind of more dangerous now when you think about it. But my point is really that back then it wasn't really like a giant marketplace. It like everything wasn't monetized. There weren't any rules to it. There weren't rules to follow. It was just a new outlet for people's creativity. Most of them didn't expect anything in return. And it was around this time that I first met Salad Fingers, a darkly disturbing demigod from the mind of Doncaster-born animator David Firth. Salad Fingers and the other oddities in Fat Pie struck a chord with me at the time through the tickling of my funny bone. And then came Devo, who felt even closer to home, because we all knew a Devo or two back in the drinking days. But over time we lost contact with those days and those people. And as the internet lost its edge with everyone and their mother, creating content on there, following guides and templates, making everything sanitised and sellable, I'd forgotten about those halcyon days of debauchery with the rusty spoons and that, so I thought it was about time to get nostalgic. On this day in 2018, David Firth released his first feature film, Umbilical World. It's a culmination or collage of sorts of his best shorts over time, got redrawn, reshaped and re-rendered into a form which confirms they all existed in the same universe the whole time. Umbilical World, except for Jerry Jackson, because he must live in the real one. So in isolation, each of these shorts are morbidly fascinating, but when they're all placed together like this, it's very interesting. When the Cahiers de Cinema chaps were first faced with the entire oeuvre of John Ford's career, overwhelmed they were by the consistencies of themes, obsessions, visual cues, movements, and overall singular vision and ownership of the works. Despite the films being written by many different screenwriters, it was impossible to ignore the fact that John Ford's work was all cohesively connected, all driving towards one ultimate image or philosophy. And you know what? When I watch Umbilical World, I have to admit, I see none of that. I did try earlier on. There are ideas connecting it and not just via umbilical cord, but there seems to be something there about nutrition, about ideas feeding off each other and eventually starving each other and becoming ill and sick and mentally ill and degrading and collapsing, which I don't know, maybe that's a comment on the entertainment industry, because I mean that is how it works. You know, things like when ideas enter the entertainment industry, they're always sort of exciting for a bit, or like the internet. But then everyone latches onto them and sucks the life out of them until they're no longer interested. And you're just like, oh, not that again. So maybe it's a comment on that. And then there's a thing about fatherhood, which could be a similar thing. Like he's put those ideas out there and then he's created. Because I don't know. I think back at the time when Fat Pie came out, there wasn't really anything like this. Because even the flash animation he used was new at the time. There will have been dark animations before, and definitely stop motion, like Jan Schrankmeyer, however you say it. There was stuff like that around, but like the specific short flash animation and that morbidness to it, the morbid and the ambient music stuff. That's even now, a lot of the music he actually used was Aphex Twin in Fat Pie, but I saw an interview with Aphex Twin recently when he thought his kids were listening to his music and he went in and they were playing Minecraft. So it's all like seeped into everything now. But it was, at the time, it was very new. But yeah, like after maybe 15 minutes of trying to like get something out of Umbilical World, I realised it's something that's beyond critical analysis, and it's a waste of time trying to do that. Really, like it's sort of art in its rawest state, just driven by urges and laughs. Really, I think a lot of the time he just does whatever's funny to him. And it's funny to me as well. It is hilarious. I mean, you don't need to like analyze something if it's making you laugh, and that's what it's trying to do. I mean, it did make me laugh out loud a lot while watching it, and I watched it on a laptop in my car while I was waiting for something. Sorry, cinephiles. And it was embarrassing the amount that I was laughing out loud, especially if someone was sort of sat some distance away. They'll have just seen a steamed up car bouncing up and down and thought the worst. But anyway, Umbilical World, it feels like a time when raw creativity fueled the internet, and it was all still new and exciting and outlawish. Yeah, and it's very inspiring and makes me want to get out and make films again and go a bit crazy. We all go a bit crazy sometimes, don't we? Anyway, if you like films like Tux and Fanny, or what it reminded me of was Daniel Klaus, who wrote Ghost World. He wrote a book once called Like a Velvet Glove Cast in Iron, I think it's called. You remind me of that. It has that same sort of the weirdness to it. The Kafka. It's a Kafka high. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Umbilical World, check it out. We are IndieMDB for everything indie.